Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Dollpreneur Podcast, where we're here to celebrate creativity, passion, and entrepreneurship of doll creators from around the world. I am your host, Georgette Taylor, and I am so excited to have with us today Brooke Hart-Jones. Brooke is the founder of HBCU Dolls, a doll and toy brand inspired by Black colleges and universities. And I want to welcome you to the Dollpreneur Podcast, Brooke. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm
So
so
excited to meet you.
Yeah, I'm so excited to meet you too. I just love what you're doing, and I can't wait to have my audience listen to your story. So, but before we dive into your little incredible journey with the HBCU dolls, I just wanted to know: can you share a little bit about Brooke Hart-Jones? Tell us that story and what shaped, the person behind inspiring this brand.
Okay, so I am a wife and mother of two. I live in Texas. I graduated from Hampton University. Come from a long line of HBCU grads, a long line of people who value Black history and its importance. So I really grew up learning Black history at an early age, and really, becoming a passion of mine. And then also my mother was a doll lover. I consider myself a doll lover, but she would collect dolls. As I come to learn more about the doll community, she was definitely a novice, definitely not a professional collector, if I would, or not a sophisticated collector, I would say, but she did really love dolls and kept a lot of dolls around her until her death. All those things kind of, as I look back, were definitely shaping me for what I'm doing now. And then I have a background in retail merchandising. I was a buyer in the retail corporate space for almost 2 decades. And so kind of all those things, all those kind of roads and twists and turns in my life were leading me here. And of course, didn't know it, didn't know why, but kind of leading me here in 2020. It became HBCU Dolls.
Wow. Well, how did your experience as a buyer prepare you to, build a doll brand celebrating HBCUs?
Just kind of knowing, well, probably, the number one thing, not taking things personal when approaching retail companies, kind of understand their thought process, and being able to kind of navigate that. It's still tough being on the other end. I'm not going to make it seem like it's made things easy, but it gives you a back end knowledge how things work, and understanding, not taking things personal. Just kind of
Mhm.
understand from the other side. And I used to joke, long before HBCU Dolls was a thought, I would joke to myself like, wow, it would be the ultimate karma if I'm ever on the other side. And, you know,
Lo and behold.
right, exactly. So just kind of that knowledge of how they operate and what they're looking for. And,
Right.
it's a volatile business. And you just can't take it personal. You gotta have some thick skin. Your baby may not be well received by everyone. And so
Really?
you gotta
Okay.
keep
Yes.
you gotta keep it moving. So
That's true. That's true. So
Mhm.
it gave you a different perspective, even though you were on one
Absolutely.
side of the coin, like you
Absolutely.
said, when you became a part of the other side of the coin,
Hmm.
right? What
Hmm.
was even though you kind of knew what the other side of the coin went through when they were trying to present their products or dolls or whatever it was they were bringing to market, what was the one unexpected challenge that you faced when you started bringing or tried to bring your HBCU dolls to major retailers?
So, yeah, I'm going to preface this by saying I didn't do this alone. So, I partnered with Purpose Toys, who really
Yes.
had resources, had a foot in the door. And so they made that process a lot easier for me.
Hmm.
So they kind of handled a lot of that piece.
Okay.
They were
Yes.
kind of like
Okay.
the go between. But um, getting them to understand, there's been a lot of complaints about not having as many schools. And, we had an idea of schools we wanted to carry. They had their own opinion. And also, they decide which stores will carry.
Okay.
Um, And so, and I've been in that position where you're allocating to different stores and you have data on the demographics of certain stores, and and it just always doesn't line up, but you only
Hmm.
have the data you have. And
Right,
so
right.
um the stores not getting to, they're,
Yes, getting
me
to the
not
places where you feel that they need to be at.
exactly,
Yes,
exactly.
yes,
And
I totally understand that.
so,
Hmm.
and that's tough because we
Hmm.
have no power over that. Once we sell them the
Hmm.
dolls, they put it where they, think it should fit.
They
So,
feel where they feel it should fit. Okay, so your dolls are in retail, so that's a little bit different, I think, than a lot of people who are a lot of doll makers who just sell their dolls specifically on their own website,
exactly,
right? So it's a
exactly.
little
And
bit
there's
different
pros and
process.
cons, to both
Yes.
processes, for sure, for
Hmm.
sure.
Hmm. So you didn't have that unexpected challenge bringing the dolls to the market. What challenges did you have creating the dolls? Because I think that's a whole nother challenge.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Because I'm, to be frank, I'm not a doll maker. I'm a visionary. Had an idea for a doll. When I was doing it on my own, I was handcrafting. I was buying a doll wholesale from craft stores. I'm customizing the doll, and then when I partnered with Purpose Toys, they had the manufacturing resources to come up. So it's a lot because you want our skin tones to be, reflective of the community. You want our hair textures. And we're such a beautifully
Yes.
diverse people. And so it's hard to kind of reflect for everybody to see themselves. So that's tough,
Hmm. Hmm.
and just an 18-inch doll is very expensive to make, and wanted to make it accessible to mass market and hitting those benchmark numbers that everybody needs to make to be in business,
Hmm.
and trying to produce the quality that you want. It's
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. I think we did it. Very proud of what we did. Of course, there's things we had to compromise and sacrifice,
Hmm.
but I'm happy for what we
Right.
were able to
Well,
do.
it produce, right? What you were able
Mhm.
to produce, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I totally understand it. I mean, there's definitely those, like you said, those different qualifications that you're not thinking about when you want to create a doll. Like
Mhm.
you said, you have this vision. I want to create a doll, and for that person, that's not on the other end yet, right? They're just thinking
Mhm.
about it. It seems
Mhm.
simple. It seems like a simple process, but it's not. Like you said, especially when you're creating a doll of color. There's so many different choices of colors, and
Exactly.
so many undertones and so many hair textures. How do you, like you said, find a happy medium for yourself
And
when you're creating that?
case in point, we decided to go with molded underwear, meaning, underwear is built on the actual
Yes,
doll.
on the doll, right. Hmm.
Our people do not like it. I get so many complaints about she does not have underwear. I had to go buy some underwear to put on her before I gave to my granddaughter or my niece one. But the amount of extra costs underwear would
So
have
true.
been,
Yeah.
and so we had to make that decision to do the molded underwear, which
Right.
is standard in the doll community, but it's a cultural thing for, our especially older generation Black women. Want to, if the doll has a dress on, they want to see some underwear,
Right. Right.
especially a short dress. So that's been tough, and I
Wow.
understand, and I sympathize. I definitely understand that point of view, but I also understand that that underwear would have cost over an extra dollar in the
Right.
manufacturing process. It's a lot,
Yeah, it is. It's definitely a lot of steps, a lot of
Mhm.
things to think about,
Right.
on that perspective. What sparked the moment for you, when you realized you wanted to bring HBCU, bring the magic, I guess, of HBCU into dolls and into,
Yeah.
children's play. What was that moment for you?
So, okay. So I'm a proud HBCU grad alum. But I have a friend who she takes my pride to the 10th degree, right? And she has a little girl, so sweet. And her birthday, this is during the pandemic. So this is the time, one of the first times in my life that I'm able to sit still. Okay, now I still have a kindergarten and first grader. So still chaotic to some degree, but it's the first time in a long time where I'm not driving over 30 miles to work, back every day, rushing to pick up my children by the cutoff, running the soccer practice. So life has slowed down for me more,
Wow.
more so than it had in a
Mm-hmm.
long time.
Right.
So, and I've always been an idea person, but it was the first time I was actually able to have an idea and not have to push it out because I have so many things to do,
Mm-hmm.
places to be. So I was able to kind of act on this idea. So my friend's daughter, her birthday was coming up. I said, "Oh, it would be so cute. It's the pandemic. I won't be able to, see her, to send her an HBCU doll for her birthday. I'll just go online, order it, have it shipped." Start searching and can't find it. And I'm like, "I've seen this before, right? I'm pretty sure I've seen this, you know." And I think I'm, master Googleist. I'm searching, and I'm like, "Wow, does this not exist?" I'm shocked. And I had most recently during that point had been a toy buyer for amusement company. And I said, "Wow." And so for my first thought is, okay, maybe I can put one together for her.
Right.
And then I, found a doll from a craft store. I found uniform. I
Mm-hmm.
personalized it, shipped it to her, and her mom loved it even more than she did. And they put it on social media, and I got a lot
Oh,
of
wow.
buzz. And people were asking me to make one, and I'm like, "Wait, what? Oh, okay." And I'm like, maybe this is something I can do. And that's kind of how it started.
Wow, that's so cool though. That's so
Mhm.
cool. They were like, make one, and you're like, okay, wait a minute, I only
Yeah,
made one.
yeah,
Like, I
you're
gotta
right.
make
I don't
another
have a
one. Like,
name.
how is that gonna happen?
Like, I'm getting orders. I don't even have a name for this business. Like,
Right. Because
like,
that wasn't the vision, to create
exactly,
a business at the time,
exactly.
right? So, okay, after you said, okay, I think I could do this, what was your next step to finding that person to help you with that? Because, I know when I was making the Big Beautiful Dolls, I just went into stores and I looked on boxes to see who manufactured what. And then
Right,
hopefully I could call somebody, back then. But that was 1999, and
right.
that was so many years ago.
Mhm.
Now hopefully they have a little bit more people that you could reach out to and mentor, that can mentor you through that process. And I know you found Purpose Toys, so how did that come about for you?
So, this journey has been so divinely ordered. That's the only way I can describe it. Because from a person who I never desired to be an entrepreneur, it's not something I saw for myself. Um, you know, I like creativity and being
Right.
creative and doing things, but I just really didn't see, because I've been blessed to see a lot of entrepreneurs in my family, and
Right.
I know what it
The
takes.
work,
I
yes.
don't I don't glorify entrepreneurship by any means. And so yeah, so it's been divinely ordered. So I was doing it on my own, and then Purpose actually reached out to they found me
Okay, that's cool.
and reach out to me. And I hear so many people who, um like I say, all I can say, it's been divinely ordered, because you know I know that's not typical to,
Mm-hmm.
within 2 years of an idea, to go from idea to store in 2
Yeah,
is
that's
nothing
not,
short of a miracle.
yes, that's so true.
um
Yeah.
so, and I mean, more beyond my wildest dreams, my wildest vision, what happened. So all I can say, it was definitely divinely ordered. So yeah, they reached out to me and asked, did I want to scale the business, did I need resources, and just started having
Nice.
conversations with them.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's beautiful.
where we are. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. I love that. I love that. What was the story behind choosing Hampton University as your alma mater?
um I wanted a school on the East Coast that was co-ed. And a family friend a few
Mm-hmm.
years older than me attended, and she told me about it. And I said, and my sister had visited before. My sister's 12 years older than me, and so she had visited the campus before, so
Mm-hmm.
she had a little bit more knowledge of it, was able to tell me. And so uh, it just kind of happened. I knew I had another friend from
Mm-hmm.
the Dallas area
Right.
who had moved to Virginia. His father's job had moved him to Virginia, and we
Mm-hmm.
kept in touch. And he mentioned, he is like, yeah, I'm thinking about going to this school not too far from where I live now. So him, I said, oh, I've been
Mm-hmm.
thinking about it. He's like, really? I said, yeah, because I'm in Texas, he's in Virginia, so he was shocked that. But and this is like right on the cusp of the internet era, so we were starting to get online, taking forever. So I was able to kind of look it up on the internet a little
A little
bit.
bit.
It took like an hour to pull up. And I'm like, oh, okay, this sounds really cool. And you would get pamphlets and things. I had never stepped foot in Virginia before. Got on a plane by myself and went there.
Mm-hmm.
So divinely ordered. That's all I can say. And I look back because I was very shy, somewhat introverted. I had a lot of friends, but I was always like the quiet one in the group, and to think that I got on a plane by myself from
Wow.
Texas to Virginia, Hampton, Virginia. Luckily, my sister, she met me there. She was living in Detroit at the time, so she flew to Detroit. I flew from Dallas, and she helped me get set up. But it's definitely one of the best decisions I ever made.
Wow. Well, it inspired these dolls. So,
Absolutely.
like you said, I really, in all things, I think that we go through, whether the challenges or triumphs or
Mhm.
anything like that, it's usually always, divinely ordered to
Oh,
teach us
absolutely.
something, to inspire other people. I totally believe in that. How do you hope that the HBCU dolls inspire, future generations, of not just young entrepreneurs, but just sharing the information and the mission of historically Black colleges and universities?
Yeah, absolutely. Dolls play such a role in the development of children, right? So being able to plant that seed early on, not only about HBCU specifically, but
Right,
introducing education, goal setting, working hard, and just the history of HBCUs and what they've meant to our culture, to this country.
right,
um
right,
they're just meant to inspire and create more conversations. I've seen videos of, you know in a fun way, parents being able to say, oh, she's a cheerleader for HBCU, do you know what this is? Because you can have conversations with children and it just kind of one ear out the other, right?
right,
But if you
right,
have something tangible and fun and to be able to connect it that way, you're gonna they'll retain it, a better chance of them retaining it, you know.
right.
So it's been fun, just seeing the conversations that they've sparked. um, you know,
Yeah,
this is the school, Auntie so and so went to, or I went to. Oh, this is Daddy. Oh, really? So it becomes they become more inquisitive and
yeah,
with that information. So
yeah. I think that's true. I know you collaborated with Purpose Toys. Are there other collaborations for HBCU dolls that hasn't happened yet that you would like to have happen?
oh,
Or
so many ideas, so many dreams. So lots. Still navigating the doll market. We got here quickly, but it's gonna take a lot to stay here. So a lot of things in the works. But
Mhm. Anything you can share? Anything you
no,
could tell?
unfortunately
Okay, okay.
not.
I'm
But
good with that.
but please stay tuned. A lot of exciting things for sure.
So what advice would you give, or offer, I guess, guide, other entrepreneurs that are coming up, when they embark on their journey? I know, like you said, you didn't do a lot of the back end, I guess, in retail and how to get it to
Yeah.
the market, but you did a lot of the work, up front, and somebody reached out to you. You still had to be a part of the
Absolutely.
way those dolls looked and all of
Mhm.
those things. So like, yeah, what advice would you, offer, somebody else who's looking to do something
I,
in the
you know,
doll
I,
space?
I would say decide what lane you want to be in. Is it mass market? Is it want to direct to customer? And don't feel like you need mass market to be validated. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like,
That's good. Mm-hmm.
um, mass market doesn't work for everyone, and it's not necessarily
Mm-hmm.
the prize.
Right, right.
And then don't be afraid to partner with others. Don't be afraid to collaborate,
Mm-hmm.
and let your mission guide you for sure.
Mm. Yeah,
Let
that's
the
a really
mission
good
guide you.
one. Because I think you're right when you said that arena may not be for you based on your mission. But if you don't know your mission, if you don't, like you said, if you don't really know your vision, or you can, that can be kind of misguided in a way because
Right.
it's really not built for what it is that you want to have happen.
But on the flip side, and me included, and we as a community have to do a better
Yes.
job of supporting
Yep.
our founders and entrepreneurs, even if they're not in mass market too.
So
So
true.
I understand that, you know, the consumer sometimes put credibility based on where you're sold, and it shouldn't be like that, right?
Right.
So we as a community have to do a better job of supporting all founders, no matter where their products are. So
That's yeah, that's
uh,
true. I mean, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do the show.
mm,
That I have
so-
been doing the
and
show.
thank you for the work you're doing.
I did the other show. In the doll world. I
Mhm.
continue to do it through this podcast because I know the all the doll makers that I've met. My journey of creating dolls, I didn't see their dolls on the shelves. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And I really wanted it to be a place where people can see,
Right,
whether you're on the shelf or you're not on the shelf,
right,
that your work is still valuable and that people need to know who these people are
absolutely.
because they're doing great work, of representing. I mean, trust me, a lot of the ideas that we've brought to the table in creating dolls have been put into retail and created. So,
Mhm.
there's
Mhm.
a lot of vision, a lot of hard work that goes into that.
I've
Yeah.
learned so much the last 4 years, just on this journey. Like I thought my mom was a doll collector until I learned what the real doll collectors were. But yeah, I've learned so much about the doll community, Black doll collectors,
Yes.
from
That,
whether it be the show that's in Detroit every year, and sitting in on the symposium that Duke has started hosting.
yes. Yes. I was a speaker
It's
there for
yes,
the last year. Yeah. So
yes.
it was so great to see.
It's
Beautiful.
it's really, I always knew there was history in Black dolls, and but it just really, really opened my eyes what, the symposium last year and just everything I've learned over the, last 4 years. And the beautiful documentary, Black Barbie, that came out, and listening to the story of the lady, not only
Hmm.
Kitty Perkins,
Hmm.
I mean,
Yes.
but the lady who worked there.
Right. The
Yes,
one that the story
yes,
really was
yes.
created for.
Uh-huh.
Hmm.
So,
Yes.
just a beautiful legacy,
Yeah.
beautiful storytelling and history preservation, and it's just
Hmm.
beautiful. Beautiful.
Well, the fact that what's beautiful is that you're a part of that too now. What
Wow.
I mean? You know, I know,
I
right?
don't
You
know if
don't
I
think
can.
about it like
I
that.
don't know if I
No,
can.
you are,
Wow.
but you are part of that
Wow.
because you created these dolls. And your mission is really to showcase, the history and the knowledge of,
Mhm.
HBCUs, and you created a doll. You're in that space now. I trust
I
me, I
never thought.
understand.
I don't think of things like that. I don't connect
Yeah.
dots like that. But wow. Okay.
It's funny, and I'm saying this because I felt it happened to me that way. I did
Mhm.
not think us creating a plus size fashion doll was significant. It was significant to us because
Right.
we were plus size women. I never thought of myself either as being part of that historical mark of creating dolls, until somebody said that to me, like I'm sharing that with you, because I think it's important that we know our place in that too, in that history
You're right.
of doll makers and doll creators,
Wow.
being Black women in this space, it's really important.
Wow.
So yeah, so
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you
Oh,
for
thank you.
everything you've done. Yeah.
Thank you for bringing them to the market. I mean, thank Purpose Toys for helping you to do
Mhm.
that and seeing that vision too. I
Absolutely.
think that's so important. Like you said, it's important to be able to have those people that can mentor you and help you grow to another level
Oh, yes.
in this space, because it's very difficult and it costs a lot of money.
It costs a lot of money. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of money.
So I do want to ask you that though. So for the people who are coming that are new into that industry, like what would you think would be a realistic, and I'm not asking you how much you spent, but what do you think would be a realistic budget, to consider for, creating and manufacturing dolls? Because I think they come in with an idea of they don't really need a lot of money, or that, they can piecemeal it, and it just doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. So I approached it differently. I had a different kind of contract situation, Purpose Toys, that allowed me to not have to invest up front, but
Yes.
to get money on the back end.
On the back end, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that. From what I've been told, I mean, just the tooling alone can cost you a couple $1,000,000, depending on where you're being manufactured. So it can get high into the seven figures just to
Yeah.
get started.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a financial commitment, definitely requires a lot of resources. And that's why the market is pretty much dominated by a handful of companies, of
Companies, right.
conglomerates,
Yes.
because of the how expensive it is.
Yeah, yeah. And I think, like, even beyond the tooling, right? You still have to purchase a certain amount of dolls, which is not a small amount of dolls.
Exactly, it's not.
And huge runs of dolls.
Yes. Yes.
And that then chips into how much you're going to charge, and that cost then goes to the people who want to purchase that doll. And
it's not done here in the US, so there's a disconnect there, which can be tough.
I was curious, how did that work for you? Because everybody, like you said, everybody's
Right.
different. Like when we started, our cost was rolled into the making of the doll. So our cost was rolled into the tooling.
Gotcha.
And then based on how much we purchased from them per doll, and it was still very expensive. But again, that was in 1999. So 24 years later, it's way more money.
And it's so funny you saying 1999, 2000. That doesn't sound like a long time. I have to remind myself that was over 20 years ago. But it doesn't sound like,
yeah, yeah, right.
Because I was an adult at that time, so I'm like, that wasn't that long ago.
It really was, like you were talking when you were talking about, when you were working with somebody, when you were looking for the school and you had to get online and try to find information. People don't understand, like it just was not as robust as it is now. Even trying to hold the business together with somebody who lived in another state was just very hard to do. So yeah. So I definitely understand that, but I'm just very happy that you're in that space, and I'm very happy to see those beautiful dolls, because they're just so cute. I love them. I think they're so cute, and I really can't wait to see what else you have coming down the pike. To introduce more people to HBCUs and have them understand the importance of those things, especially with the climate that we're going into. I think it's very important.
Absolutely.
Share a little bit about where people can find your dolls and learn more about your story.
Yeah, absolutely. So the dolls are available online primarily now, in select stores, but easier to find online. Walmart, Target, and Amazon. You can find updates on, products, new things that are going on our Instagram page, HBCYou Dolls. So that's HBCU Dolls on Instagram, Facebook. Yeah, please follow us. We love for you to engage with us, and so you can see all the things we have going on.
Well, thank you so much, Brooke, for being on the Dollpreneur Podcast. I'm so excited. I'm excited for your journey. I'm excited for all the things that you have coming up with the dolls and with Purpose Toys. And I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to them too at Purpose Toys. I'm looking forward to talking to the founder, because I think that what she's doing is just really, really important in this space.
Absolutely. Dee Dee Ford is amazing. Yeah. So excited to meet you, and so proud of what you mean to the Black doll community. And
thank you.
Keep in touch.
Thank you. Yes, we will. We will do that. Thank you so much for being on the Dollpreneur Podcast.
Thank you.
Now.
Bye.
Thank you so much for joining us at the Dollpreneur Podcast. We really hope you enjoyed the episode and feel inspired by our amazing guests, as well as learn something new about the creative people within the doll community. So don't forget to visit our website at www.thedollpreneurpodcast.com for more content. And please, we would love for you to stay connected to us. So please subscribe to the Dollpreneur Podcast newsletter, YouTube channel, Instagram, and Facebook pages. And they can all be found at the website, www.thedollpreneurpodcast.com. Thank you again for listening to the Dollpreneur Podcast. And until next time, have a doll fabulous day.